Right, now Christmas is out of the way, I'll show you around the all-year-round calving herd, shall I? Bottom of the cubicle shed here, we open all these doors when we get milk in, and we sweep all the muck out into the lagoon there. Here is the feed passage, the indoor. We've got 2 feed passages here, 200 foot long, one outside, one outside, all running as one group at the moment, these cows. We're just finishing off a maize on this farm, so we're running out. So they're going to be the silage whole crop and blending their diet. We might start mixing a few round bells because we've got a lot of round bells this year. Here's the cows in the cubicles. This is about 10:30 in the morning. The starlings and crows are coming in a bit. We are on the walking chalk AI, so everything green hasn't been served. There's one. They get green, and then when they get served, they get put red on them. Cows milking relatively well for all year round herd. Fats and proteins are good this year. Sand cubicles. We bed these cubicles up about 3 times a week. What I like about sand is to see you going with cell counts in the back of the scans. Definitely is environmental. As long as you keep the parlour, your thermal jerks down, keep the parlour clean and your tank clean, you don't have too much hassle with sand. And cows with grip too. So we've got hexagonal here, but the sand is just everywhere because it sticks to their feet and whatnot. There's a little bit wearing on machines, but it's good for you know, your cows doing the splits and whatnot. Like, we don't touch wood, don't get too many. This here is a collecting yard we've just barned over. I'm just scared of those starlings off to get them out. I might have to. We tried radios and all that, but we do get used to it. The best thing to do is just walk around, I find, with us. There's always someone around here walking around just to scare them off and whatnot. They've just come in now, so we will keep an eye on them. But this barn here is our cover over, so everything is under one roof. Nothing goes outside now in the winter, and this is going to be ideal in the summer because this yard was a real sun trap in the summer, so we shouldn't get too much trouble. This lean-to here, where the cows come from, the dry cows and calves. They go in here and then they can just slip straight into the milking parlour there, and then back in the shed with their calves. Shut that gate. This is a collecting yard here, so we drive them out the barns there, shut the doors at milking time, and then they come into here. It's a long, thin yard, and they go straight into the milking parlour there. This is our bull here, our Hereford bull. He's having time off at the moment. A little bit of a bad foot where he's been working a bit hard. He still comes out now and again. We let him out about 2 or 3 times a week. But with the AI, because we're doing a lot of sex theming at the moment, the AI chap comes in about 6 o'clock in the morning, does a few farms in the area, comes here first, has a walk round. A lot of times it all goes on the WhatsApp group. When they serve a cow, it goes onto that WhatsApp group, and then we can do it on the computer then. But also the cows and calves go on that group. Everything we do on this farm goes on that WhatsApp group, so we're in the know and we can search it up. Here's some calves here, about a day or 2 old. Cows will probably go in again tonight, and then the calves will go off into the calf pens then, and the cows will join the herd. But the cows, what calved over the last day or 2, are in there now in the herd eating the diet. Just going to walk into the parlour here. One of the doors open. We've got doors, kept the doors on. We could take the back of this parlour off now. This is sheeted over, but we'll probably keep them on just for warmth, because this is a sunny day today. The first sunny day we've had for a while, actually. It's just been torrential rain. Last night was torrential rain. It's just been torrential rain really pretty much in the UK from the middle of the summer. We just had a colossal amount of rain, and this has helped out massively, because this would have been whitewashed this morning after last night's rain. But ours kept the sun out a bit. But we have got a few roof lights in and whatnot. I don't think it makes a massive difference, but there's a bit of sun there where you see they're stood there in the sun. race system there. When the cows come out the parlour, milk fevers and whatnot, straight down the race. Let's take a look at this parlour here. Got rubber matting on the floor as they come in. The auto ID ring here. It's about 12 years old, this parlour now. We've got traditional feeders along the side here. They're fed to yield. They only get a maximum of 3 kilos in the parlour now because it's all down the barrier. Just redone this parlour matting. We used to have blue, we've now put in black, and we've got the Dematron 75 GEA boxes there. The cows come in on that auto ID and it flashes up a number on that box. And then it goes back to the computer. Dairy tank here, bottom fill we use. We find bottom fills a lot better because you don't get the splashes of milk going in the top, so all the farms are like that now. What just makes it easier for keeping the tank clean, no lime scale on the sides and whatnot. The calf huts over there, we've just cleaned out, hypoed them up. The rain done a good job of washing them off because we hypoed them in and out. We'll leave them now for a bit because we ain't got too many calves, and we've got the calves in here behind these doors at the moment. So these are the old calf sheds. Giving those huts a bit of time off, but we will use them before long. We've got these individual doors here. We've got the calves here. These calves here are all heifers. And we've got a feeder down the side there and a trough in the corner. Fine, they do work well, but they have got brick walls in there, what does spread germs a little bit. So I think in the future what would be good for us is to sheet those over with storm board, plastic board, or actually paint the walls, because you do get a little bit of ringworm on like a warm wet year like we do now. Got all our old wagons parked up ready to go on. We're on a Tri-Lite diet feeder now, what runs around all the farms, what works well. We used to have an individual keening on each farm. There's the calf huts here, just cleaned out, plonked there, ready for when we want to use them. And we've got our cattle box there for hauling dry cows down to the dry cow unit, what's 100 metres away. Sometimes we drive the cows up, but a lot of times we just put them in the box for ease and bring them up. Put the sand in here, a few other things like a bit of straw for the calves. We've got about 20 to 30. We used to have calves in the shed too. We took a bit of tin off the back there for airflow. Didn't work that well, so we just use it as a sand pit now. We've got about 30-40 tonne in there. Spare shed here with a bit of barley straw in. We're going to take a walk down the silage clamps. Call it down the silage clamps because it's down a concrete ramp like this, out the way of the cows. What is the other side of that shed? We've got a concrete track, ring track around that barn there. We've done really well when we built this farm. Laying concrete makes a massive difference on a wet year like this. Concrete's easy to sweep and whatnot. 3 silage clamps in total. 2,000, 2,000, 1,000. The maize here has literally been finished now, so we will feed no maize on this farm unless we haul it in from another farm. So we're getting back to some silage here. I have to look at the quality of that, see what that is. This stuff here is testing really good stuff, but we are getting to the back of it because this is a slightly smaller clamp. The difference between this clamp and a lot of silage clamps is this is an asphalt floor clamp. So all of them were asphalt, made a massive difference. So this is coming at 15 years old now, this clamp. And if you look in the corner here, it's a bit wet weather, so it's not great. But it hasn't eaten the sides at all, pretty much. We put the side sheets up and whatnot, protect the walls. But the asphalt's made a massive difference. Nothing's eaten into it at all. It cost a little bit more money at the time. But it was well worth doing. Just easier all round, I find. You can hitch machines off it and whatnot. You can dig the grab into it and the grab won't dig into it. It's on top of concrete. It's only about that, probably. About an inch at the most. And then we got like 6, I think 9 inches of concrete actually underneath. And pushing up silage in the summer, when you're putting silage in, JCB grips well. And just digging out and whatnot. It was well worth doing. That was a good thing when we did that. Front of the farm here, we just had the Yorkshire board in the wood turn up to clad the side of that shed there in the long over there to keep the wind out. Outside feed barrier here, but he's got a 12-foot overhang, so we did have netting up along there like a storm breaker, but we took it down because it's getting very dirty and it didn't look that good, and we found it's actually better with it off. We put it up as soon as we put the shed up, But since then, we'll see what it's like when the bad weather comes. But it's, so far, it's working quite well. Flip over water troughs here. One at the top of the shed. This is like 3 barns here all in the one. You can see it's like 3 peaks there. And it goes down in the step because it's a 2-meter drop from the top of here down to there. And we notice the cows, whoops, we notice the cows lie uphill most of the time. I say uphill, there's one here. This one here is lying downhill, but most of them lie uphill. So you get no water. Can get a little bit too dry sometimes, but it's never been a massive problem. Very good for airflow, this shed. Very happy with it. There they are, all settled in. Roof lights, stripes. That's 10 years old. They're starting to shade over a little bit now. And we've got plenty of lightage in the shed. We've got on each beam one there, 3 down through, so 6 to a shed. Keeps it nice and light, but I do find at night to switch all the lights out. Well, a lot of people won't agree with. A lot of people leave the lights on all night. I think energy costs and whatnot don't make no difference to the cows yield wise. We haven't seen no drop since we've been doing it. Switch all the lights out, cows in pitch black at night, and then when we get at 4 o'clock the next morning, back on. Relatively fresh cow here. She's I'd have to check her out, but I know by just horning her up from dry cows, she's been here about 2 to 3 weeks. It's here all led uphill, see. About 3 times a week put sand in. Got slanted Yorkshire board in there. We just done it literally because it's pretty. Don't make no difference to airflow or anything. The boarding at the top of the shed is all touching because the wind comes from that way, and then we've got a gap down the bottom there because not much blows up. If we were going to keep the starlings out without putting any like noise in here or whatnot, we'd have to net all the way along there, all the way down around there, and pull it all down when we come out of the shed. So it's quite a big job, and it's not a massive problem, I say, the starlings. Like I said, now we're into January, it's the first time I've actually seen them. If it does ever get too dry in these sheds in the summer, we just flip the troughs over. But we graze, we get a good lot of grazing in with these cows. They go out day and night for as long as we can, really. It's a really wet farm, so they do come in day and night in the summer if it's wet like this year. Well, 2023, what's just gone, the cows come in day and night in like August time. I think the summer holidays, when the kids were on the summer holidays, they come in for a week or 2, but then back out again purely because the ground's wet. So they don't go in that shed when they're out day and night, they just go through it to go out in the fields. So we usually just run one barn, and we might put a little bit of grub down the barrier if we got to, but not a great deal. It's ready. Right, I'm just going to drive 100 metres down to the dry cow unit and I'll show you around there. I'm blocking drains a day with a tanker after all that rain. A few drains and whatnot blocked up. In calf heifers this side, dry cows this side. We sweep the dry cows out every day and we bed them up every other day. This gets swept out every day, and we put a little bit of sand down here because it's a little bit slippery. No grooving, that'll be our next thing on the books, to put a bit of grooving down, probably in the summer now. Straw yard here. And as the cows look like they're going to calve, we check them about 3 to 4 times a day. They go over in that shed over there where we've got a cow and calf already, ready to collect and take up to the dairy what's just behind those trees there. As a cow gets dried off, he gets red tail tape, but there's no way they can mix up with the milkers because they're on a completely different farm. But you never know, someone might leave a gate open at night and then they run up or whatnot, so we do that for safety. And they also get done on the computer. It's dry, so say like by some freak accident they got out of here, or in the summer they got out of the field and they got in with a milking cows, if they come in the parlour, then they wouldn't be able to be physically milked without you bypassing the system. You'd have to go through like a few switch buttons and whatnot to try to milk it. So it's pretty, I would say it's pretty impossible. For like an 8,500 litre yielding cow, we milk from grass, but they are in, I would say, 6 months of a year. This is the perfect year for 6 month year, winter. They'll be in for a good 6 months. They come in middle of October, and the earliest they're going to go out probably, well, depending on what the weather's like, it's going to be roughly about the middle of March, April, middle of April, sometimes even 1st of May turn out. Cow here is calved in the last, say, hour or so. Look at the calf. What we got? We got a heifer. All black and white at the moment. In calf heifers here. The dairy shorthorn there, but we're mainly going for black and white. We have got the odd crossbred like this one here. Because on the spring unit is a crossbred herd, and anything really good what falls out of block like this one, we bring down probably about 25 to 30 a year. But they've got to fit the bill. They've got to be, you know, they've still got to be milking well to go into this unit, because we don't really want too many of them down here. We don't want to like cross this herd too much. We want to keep it black and white, keep it fairly high yielding, purely because the ground's wet ground and you're going to be putting some effort in when you bring them back in the shed. All muck, all relatively hard muck, gets swept out of here and goes into here, the lagoon. And then he's fairly full up, and we will haul some up into the field when the weather turns dry. When it does one day, hopefully next week, the weather's looking pretty good. And then we'll dump some in the field ready to plough in the spring. Look at that. Plenty of grass about. So we get a good spring, we get an early spring, we're going to have some nice grass ready to turf them out onto.